or just because you've run into Cheri Peters at some point and have never been the same, even if it's in a grocery store. You may know her as any one of those celebrity people. What's amazing to me about Cheri is not that. It's not the TV shows, although those are pretty cool. It's not the speaking engagements. It's not the traveling or any of that. It's a woman who is sold out to Jesus Christ. Amen. And is passionately in love with her. The rest of it is kind of fun frosting on the cake. But the real thing is someone who has given their life to Jesus Christ, and God is using in remarkable ways, the same way that He wants to use me and you. And because of that, I'm so excited to have Cheri here this weekend with us tonight. Tomorrow morning at both church services, 9 and 11:15, it'll be the same presentation. So if you're an early person, 9 o'clock. Not so early, 11:15. Breakfast will be served after the first service, lunch after the second. I told you we were obsessed about food. And then tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and I know you don't want to miss that one. That's probably going to be the most powerful presentation. And from what I've heard from Cheri is happening. It's going to be awesome. So please welcome Cheri up here with your prayer and with your support.
I think it's hysterical. When I get introduced, I still can't, it's still hard for me because I'm a heroin addict in recovery, and that's who I am. And somebody will say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I finally got to meet you. And who says that to a heroin addict in recovery? And who can make that happen except for God? I think it just cracks me up. It just is too funny for me. But I gotta tell you a couple things that tonight is going to be the testimony. Raise your hand if you haven't heard that. Okay, so for people that have, I just want to say I hope you just pray through it. But tonight I'm just going to tell you kind of how I came to God, where I came from, that kind of thing. And when I first came to God, it was real funny because I came into a church and I just wanted to look as cute as I could possibly look because I just found God and it was just too fun. And I had this really kind of short, tiny skirt on and a tight little top and all kinds of jewelry. I'm like, hey, I just met God, and everybody's just like, whoa, you know. And I was just so excited that I had met God, and He loved me, and people looked at me like I was just from Mars. It was just the craziest thing. And I realized right away that something about me was not okay. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm smart in that way. It could be the fact that they scooted away from me, you know what I mean? But I was just like, something is not okay, and so I started to try to figure it out. And weeks went by, and I am trying to think, what is it? What is it? You know, could be it that my dress is too short, you know, and so I thought, okay, I'll just wear longer ones. I looked around and found someone that was just beautiful, and so I'll just dress like that, exactly. And so I just, and you know what was really crazy about dressing exactly like that? And not many of you are going to understand this next statement, but raise your hand if you do. When I came into the church, what was really a popular dress was a paisley dress with lace collars. Does anybody remember that dress? Yes. They were horrible. You know, and especially for an addict, a druggie, you were like going like, who wears this? Who made this? You know, but I got one in every color, you know, because everybody was wearing them. And so I started dressing right, I started looking right, and then finally I thought, you know what? Maybe it's that I smoke right. I smoked about 3 packs of cigarettes a day, so maybe it's my smoking. And so it was really funny because I decided that I was driving around town, I would just get really low so that people couldn't see me smoke. And I would just like smoke, and I would take a big old drag off the cigarette, and then I would come back up and look around, and then blow it out. You know, and so then I would end up making it to church, and I would think, you know what, okay, had my last cigarette, and when you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, you have to smoke on the way to church. Do you know what I mean? Because you just can't get them all in if you don't. And so like when I got to church, I got out and I thought, I bet I smell like smoke, right? So then I just put perfume all over me, head to toe. I wasn't working yet, so it was very cheap perfume. And then I would come in, and I don't know why, but I ended up in a church with a bunch of vegan vegetarians. And they're like allergic to the entire planet. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden, I sit next to them, and I smell like smoke and perfume, and they are falling over dead almost. You know what I mean? So it just didn't help me. And so I decided that I was going to try to be right. I was going to try to act right and speak right and look right And it was killing me, because I wasn't any of those things. You know what I mean? And there were times that I was hurting so bad, I wanted to walk up on the platform, grab the mic, and just say, you know what, I'm going to die today. I'm not going to make it today. I don't know how I'm going to survive this day unless somebody lets me sit next to them. You know what I mean? Unless somebody lets me say out loud, I am scared. You know, I don't know how to do this Christian thing. I don't know how to walk. I don't know how to talk right. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. I can't leave the building because if I do, it's going to kill me. I'm going to go right out to my addictions, and yet I don't think you guys want me here. And I wanted to grab the mic and just scream that. I wanted to run in the building and throw myself on the ground and just say, this is not fair. You know what I mean? It's just not fair. And so I stayed there for a long time. I stayed in church for as long as I could stand it. Raise your hand if you know what I'm saying. Okay, I just was wanting to know if you're with me. So I stayed in as long as I could stand it, and then somebody said something really stupid. I decided, and I've been there almost 10 years. So you got to listen, and I hope somebody hears this. Almost 10 years sitting there trying to be good enough for 10 years and dying inside. Not that I was dying with my relationship with God. He loved me. In fact, I felt like some days he would kiss me on the face and say, I can't wait till you get out because I want to show you something really cool. So my relationship with God wasn't the problem. It was my relationship in the building was really hard. So after about 10 years, I decided I would try to stop smoking. You know, so maybe that's the issue. And it was hard. I quit heroin, I quit tequila, I quit sleeping with my neighbor. I mean, I quit as much as I could. You know what I mean? But smoking was just the hardest thing. And so finally I went up to somebody and I said, excuse me, but what happens if somebody from this church wanted to stop smoking? And they said, from this church? I'm like, yeah, from this church. I already know where I'm going. And they said we would just fellowship them. They shouldn't be smoking. We get hurt for about a minute and a half. And then what do you think happens? We get really mad. And I wanted to just grab them by the shirt and just say, excuse me, what did you say? So I just wanted to grab him and say, excuse me, I don't think I heard you right. And he was so serious. We would just fellowship them. So I ended up leaving the church forever, for years and years and years. I relapsed. I stopped going to church. I would say